Hello, everyone. Welcome back to yet another political episode. So, we are back, and it's been an amazing week for Donald Trump, and where he has been taking some mild wins. They're not big wins, but it's a sign that, you know what, things are turning around. And despite having Alan Lichtman coming in and saying the most stupid stuff as usual, that Kamala Harris is going to win the presidency, throwing his 13 keys. I mean, really, 9 keys, because each key he won was a win he won for 9 consecutive elections. He predicted, let's see, Biden in 2020, Trump in 2016, Obama in 2012, Obama in 2008, Bush in 2004, Bush in 2000, Clinton in 1996, Clinton in 1992, and then finally starting his record out straight with Bush in 1988. 9 consecutive elections. Alan Lichtman is challenging, is going to try to get 10 executive wins. 10 consecutive election wins. That's his goal. But I'm going to tell you, he's not doing so well this time. Because then again, he is failing to look at the past presidential election results. And these past election results, although it had Trump losing, like back in the 2020 presidential election, it had Donald Trump lose to Joe Biden by, let's see, 3 points. Not bad at all. But it did single warning signs for Democrats in the future, like in 2024. Like these warning signs specifically came from Wisconsin, Arizona, and Georgia, where Joe Biden barely won the election in those states by less than a point. That's less half of a percentage point. And knowing presidential elections, things usually turn the other way. Well, it usually goes, we saw in 2008, 12, like 2012, 2008. Obama carried a significant hold. He solidified his hold in Florida and Ohio. He carried these states by at least over 2 points. In Ohio, Obama carried Ohio by 4 points. He almost carried it by 5. Going to Florida, he carried it by 2 points. Okay? Looking how much that changed. Florida trended to the right by, I don't know how much, by 2 points. Almost 3. No, almost 2 points, or maybe 2 points. But the fact of the matter is, the states usually trend to the right by 1 percentage point. And that's all Donald Trump really needs in order to win a state, right? And not just win a state. That's all he needs to win 3 states: Wisconsin, uh, Arizona, and Georgia. And then the election is his. And despite the current poll results, what it's saying right now, um, the Democrats are losing hope. They're not programmed to lose hope though, because they will continue to say talking points on why Donald Trump is going to lose. But there are certain NPCs, like Nate Silver, that will not follow the script. Alan Lichtman is an NPC. He used to be, he was always a Democrat, Alan Lichtman, but Alan Lichtman is more and more, as we become more politically divided, he's become more cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs than actually being intellectually smart. I do not doubt Alan Lichtman's intelligence and his ability to win elections. I mean, ability to predict elections. But let's remember, I think really Alan Lichtman is real. Like, it's hard to believe, because this man, how many times has this guy edited and changed the definition of the 13 keys to match his prediction? Many times this year, because the 13 keys, a lot of them included we did 13 key predictions, and Trump easily won, like, let's see, 12 out of 13 keys. Like, I mean, seriously. Was there civil unrest? Yes. But Alan Lichtman changed the definition this year and said, oh, the civil unrest has to lead to unpopular or something like that. Fallen unpopular. It doesn't matter. Alan Lichtman had changed the definition when it appeared that when it looked like his 13 keys were getting criticized. But now he's getting criticized. And that's all Alan Lichtman is. Alan Lichtman is going down. And there are going to be the losers of 2024. And so far we got a lot of losers. We got Nikki Haley being one loser. We got, you could say Ron DeSantis, but Ron DeSantis kind of saved his career. I mean, really, he was almost going down the toilet. Like, he kind of caught himself after the Iowa primaries, in my opinion. But you got Nikki Haley, for one. You got Joe Biden, number two. You allegedly have Kamala Harris if she loses. And then you're going to have Alan Lichtman. And this guy has won. And that's something that kind of concerns me. I'm feeling pretty confident in this election. A lot of doomsday Republicans, including my father, who I arguably would be more libertarian. He is very critical of Republican performances in recent elections. And he continues to update me and saying, hey, you know what? I'm trying to prepare you. Kamala Harris is going to win. And I'm like, I can already see it happening. All right. But I honestly think that my father doesn't really understand how the Electoral College works. Or he knows how the Electoral College works, but he doesn't know about the state results from previous elections and how history usually tells us how each state usually trends when a certain party is in power or a certain party is in office. Like the Democrats, Republicans were in office in 2020. It saw Wisconsin, a state that they won in 2020, trend more left. Okay? Because we want the new guy. Take 2012 or 2012, for example. Barack Obama was in office. Despite being well approved in the state of Wisconsin, there's always going to be the person that wants to see the new guy. They want to make history. Or they just more criticism of Obama. I mean, it usually does. More criticism over the president forms when the president takes office. And that, as you know, leads to Mitt Romney gaining 6 points compared to John McCain's performance in 2008. If that makes sense. Look at how many counties Romney flipped compared to McCain. McCain couldn't even get a grip. So that's what it looks like. But yeah. But what it's looking like here. Yeah, I want to believe I have a dry socket. So I am just limiting how much I say. I'm taking breaks. So if it seems that I'm slowing down, it's just, it hurts, if you will. So, yeah, it's never fun. It's not fun. It's, like, not worth getting your wisdom teeth taken out. It's like, why? why should I go through this? Well, I'm getting distracted. But looking at, you get what I'm saying with the results, right? And the theory is, since Democrats are in office in 2024, the chances are pretty high that Wisconsin's going to trend back right. That's all it needs. That's all it needs to do. Well, an example Democrats will bring up to justify, because you'll see George Bush didn't win Wisconsin, right? He almost did, though. But Wisconsin, during that time, was known as a blue state, not a swing state. So you could go ahead and make the argument that Wisconsin is sort of like New Hampshire today. Like 2016. Trump barely won New Hampshire. Trump didn't even win New Hampshire. Barely lost New Hampshire, but could have won it. But seeing how he was the president during the time of 2020, the chances of him winning New Hampshire were very dim and very small. Well, that didn't really change in this case for President Bush. It actually shifted a little bit more rightward, but barely, just barely. Then again, Wisconsin's a blue state during this time. And this does show that, plus, there wasn't really big criticisms towards President Bush, and you'll see it's a lot of tossed up opinions when it comes to Wisconsin. But yes, huge wins for Donald Trump. We also got Donald Trump's sentencing postponed till probably after the election, what it's looking like right now. Probably after the election. I wouldn't worry too much about that. And yeah, I'm just taking it as a grain of salt. This guy who's a Democrat coming out and saying, you know what? All this hype over Kamala Harris is misleading. And it is. It's Democrats don't realize it, but they're hurting themselves. Because this is exactly what they did in 2016. They got their cameras out and ready to record the first moment in history of getting a first female president. And guess what happened? It didn't happen. It didn't happen. Because they kept pushing the narrative that Hillary Clinton was going to win regardless. And that just got more Republicans a reason to get out and vote. So, as you know, good week for Trump. I'm very happy we got strategists coming out saying that, you know what, it's not what it's looking like inside. And it's just, and that's what the Democrats just want to do. They want to energize their base more. They know they lack momentum. They have, and they only have a few much time, so they're going to make big deals over the polls. Of course they're going to make big deals over the polls. They need to jack up the momentum. But what they did in 2016 could end up what will happen again in 2024. So Donald Trump's week, it's been pretty good. And it seems this honeymoon is dying. And I'm predicting the honeymoon will be over after Kamala Harris's debate. Because, guys, Kamala Harris is desperate. She is throwing a fit like a little girl. Because she wants the mics to be on. And I don't know why everyone thinks this should be an issue. Honestly, whatever happens, happens. Why are conservative outlets polling? Do you want the mics to be on or off during the debate? I saw a lot of conservatives say, have them on. And I'm like, okay, why are you doing this? Because Trump and his allies want the mics off. The Democrats and the Kamala Harris campaign is pointing out, hey, Donald Trump needs the mics off because he can't handle having the mics on. Ha 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 ha. Well, a lot of conservatives are like, okay, let's prove them wrong. Let's turn the mics on and do a debate with the mics on. I understand that. But we got to understand why Kamala Harris wants the mics on. Let's understand why. And I made out the point that she wants to use Donald Trump against Donald Trump. That's one point I have made. But she also wants to create that strong woman moment like she made 4 years ago against Mike Pence. I have no doubt about it. Kamala Harris won a debate against Mike Pence because Mike Pence is boring. He is not the vice presidential debate did not amuse me at all. The only thing that Mike Pence did that amused me was to see the fly on his head. But there were certain things about that debate that, if the things that certainly didn't happen in the debate most likely would have been tossed up. For example, part of the reason why Kamala Harris won the debate against Mike Pence was a stupid fly went on Mike Pence's head. Why does that even matter? Why is everyone making a big deal about it? Okay, iconically, this affected the outcome of the debate. Well, I want you guys to think realistically from a moderate, absent-minded, critical thinker watching the debate who's honestly tossed up between Kamala Harris and Mike Pence. They're debating. And you got Kamala Harris having these moments where she's going off at Mike Pence for interrupting. Mike Pence interrupts her, and Kamala puts Mike Pence in his place. Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking. And that's part of the reason. Kamala Harris wants to have that moment. Kamala Harris wants to put Trump in his place like she did with Mike Pence. Mr. President, I'm speaking. Mr. Trump, I'm speaking. She wants that strong woman moment. And that's part of the reason why she won the debate, because no one knew who Kamala was during the vice presidential debate. Very little taste of people got from Kamala Harris. But when they saw Kamala Harris put Mike Pence in his place when he was interrupting people, that gave her points. The final blow, like I said, was the fly. Because when it was finally Mike Pence's time to turn, no one wasn't even listening to him. People were tuned in on the fly on his head. That didn't just distract the public from what he was saying, but it pointed out his intelligence. How does that point out his intelligence? Well, I cannot strategy wise, I didn't understand it at the time. I'm like, how does that even work? But now I understand. A fly coming on your head as you're trying to spit facts. It's like having the letter L fly around your head as you're saying facts, or you're making an argument and you have this big letter L rising above your head. The fly was the letter L, because that was a funny moment. And you got Mike Pence, who, I'm sorry, can be a clown sometimes. You can turn this guy into a clown. He's a classic politician. And you have a fly lining on his head. It makes him look dumb. And that was what gave Kamala Harris the debate. Why am I... it seems like I'm giving Kamala Harris a lot of credit. But the thing is, really, I'm actually insulting her. I'm actually proving her incompetence because Kamala Harris needs open mics and a stupid fly in order to do a good job. In order for Kamala Harris to barely win the debate, she needs a fly to land on Donald Trump's head or just land on his face. I don't know. Just have a little bug distract the audience from what your opponent is saying. And then use the open mics and put your opponent on your place because the narrative is supposed to be Kamala is a strong woman. That's what everyone thought when she was debating Mike Pence. Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking. I won't let myself be interrupted by the Vice President. I won't stand being interrupted by the Vice President. It made her look strong, right? And Mike Pence, very easy guy to take on. Mike Pence didn't fire back. But I guarantee you, if you had open mics with Donald Trump is not going to say, "Oh, I'm sorry." No. Are you kidding me? No, he's going to keep. He'll put Kamala Harris in his place. And I can guarantee you, Donald Trump is well aware of the previous debate with Joe Biden back in 2020, the first debate that went wrong. I'm sure he's aware of that. I'm sure. And I'm sure he's been talked about. Hey, that didn't make you look good. Hey, that kind of triggered some people. That set some people off. That's not going to help you. And I think Donald Trump has control. So if the mics are on, I have confidence that Donald Trump will do a good job. And Kamala Harris won't have her "I'm a strong woman" moment, but guess what? She'll still say, she'll create strong woman moments, even if Donald Trump isn't interrupting. So, good week for Trump. And it does show that Kamala Harris obviously wants that moment because she's literally venting on Twitter, X, or tweets, or whatever, social media, going off and saying, Donald Trump can't handle a debate with the mics on. Why should we have a debate with the mics on? Why do you want this so bad? That's the question we really should be asking ourselves. Why do you want this so bad? And why are you getting so upset over this? And why are you trying so hard? She's a tryhard. She is nonstop trying to break and change the rules. Really, the debate rules set by the previous Democratic nominee, Joe Biden, shouldn't hurt Kamala Harris at all. But only Kamala Harris and her campaign knows it hurts her. Because if it didn't hurt her, they wouldn't be trying so hard to change it. So, what are your guys' thoughts, despite poll results, ridiculous poll results, which will only continue, but betting odds are going back to Trump? We have Nate Silver, who is smartly saying, hey, you know what? Kamala Harris may win the popular vote. That might be correct, but that doesn't guarantee her a win. You got Wisconsin, Georgia, and Arizona barely carried by Joe Biden. And seeing the events from 1 month, 2 months ago with the assassination and the previous debate, there's no doubt about it. You got some voters already committed to vote for Trump in those states. 0.60%, 0.30% is not a lot. A lot of events happened. So the only thing the Democrats can do now is pray. Just pray. So what do you guys think in regards to our video today, let me know down below. And as always, I will see you all in the next political episode.